perfect round, both had great interceptions. That would be the highlights there. Offensively, there were some big plays. We've had a lot of back and forth. We had about a 3-day period where we're defensively really dominated the practices. I think when we talked last, we were kind of in the midst of that. Offense had a little bit of the upper hand in scrimmage, had a few more big plays, but there was a lot on both sides. It's kind of the first opportunity to get the live tackling in the open field. We've done some short yardage work, but that's it's a different animal. It's great because you're able to obviously evaluate the offensive players and how they react in the open field, how these guys run, who's going to come out of tackles. And then obviously defensively you get that same evaluation because a lot of this does become so much of a space game. And so there were really big highlights of each. Offensively, guys came out with some tackles and made some big plays. We had some tremendous individual one-on-one tackles defensively, a lot to coach from, kind of on both sides. But continues to be a very much overall back and forth camp. And that's, in my history, that's been as a head coach, because we leave the field, one group's going to be happy, one group's going to be pissed. For me, it's always you're happy and mad, both at the same time, which that's how I should feel. I want to feel that internal pull where it's like, you feel that back and forth, and both sides are having success, and both sides are being challenged. And I think that's what's happening right now.
What do you see from Gentry so far?
Yeah, Eric's so good. He's his length and playmaking ability kind of knows for the ball really stick out. He's just rare to have a guy, on your defense that has that type of length, but also that type of athleticism. So, you love it defensively. You love his instincts, and he's getting more comfortable within our system, making less mistakes each day. From an offensive perspective, guys like that are a pain, and he's doing a really nice job.
And also, Coach Caleb coming here makes the offensive transition even better and easier.
It's smoother. No, it is. There's no question. He and I'd say he and Miller both have a really good grasp of what we're doing. The challenge in spring was you only had two quarterbacks that we were going to rep, which I've never had that before. What happened was the advantage in spring, or now coming out, was we only repped two quarterbacks and they got 1,000,000 reps. And it was great for Caleb. It was great for Miller, both. Both those guys, I think, very much in control of what we're doing. Starting to get very, very comfortable with it. And certainly Caleb's experience with it, especially as we get deeper into this. And you start to think about game planning and all that ensues. The fact that he's been through it with us, you can feel his confidence. I think the group can feel his confidence.
Can you talk about, or have you talked to the team about great expectations already, because you see what the general public thinks about what's going to happen here?
Yeah, we're not too concerned with the general public. We love them, but we're not too concerned about their opinions. We want to make them proud with the way we play. And from the first day I got here, it's like I've stayed the whole time. It's championship expectations. We're not going to shy away from it. Now, again, we've got to understand that talking about it doesn't get that done. And it's in our actions. And so every day, everything we do, it's graded very simply. Was that at a championship level or was it not? And if it was, it's applauded. If it's not, it's corrected and disciplined.
Lincoln, I know you talked about adapting your offense to your personnel depending on the year. When you add a guy like Jordan Addison, how much does he open up those possibilities? And were you kind of able to just sort of like go into the pit and just kind of figure out new stuff that you're able to do with Jordan?
Sure. No, I think you're the best players. You're always gonna tailor it to those guys and try to do things to fit them. And so, there's no question. He absolutely impacts how we'll play offensively. There's absolutely zero doubt about that. I would say he's doing very well. I'd say we're still learning him. We still only had, and today was 10. I think we've only had 10 practices with him. So we're still figuring out, him, his intricacies, and how he fits. But he's an impressive kid. He's a pretty consistent worker, very consistent worker, and certainly is a playmaker. So, there's been a lot of newcomers, several offensively that can come in and make you really think about all the possibilities. And it's exciting because there's some guys that are pretty dynamic. He's obviously one of them.
I know he's majority in the slot, mainly at hit. Do you sort of more foresee him as someone that can move around all throughout the offense?
Yeah, we'll see. We've always had the ability to get our best guys around, and so I'm sure we'll move him around a little bit. And good thing for him, even though he hasn't been in our offense, he's played a lot of ball, and he's smart. He picks it up very quickly. He's a football guy, and so when we do need to move him around, think it'll be a problem.
With all the newcomers you talked about, how's the team chemistry been out here?
Yeah, really good. Again, probably, I don't know what to expect. I mean, the roster's never really been put together this way. And so, how do you don't look at there's not really a handbook for this. We knew it'd be a challenge. We knew it's going to be very important. It's still very important. It's a daily thing, but I really like our chemistry right now. Our guys really seem to enjoy competing with each other. They seem to enjoy each other off the field. I don't feel a lot of clicks within the team. I mean, it just feels very. I think if the casual observer that hasn't been around our guys came out, like they would think a lot of these guys have been playing together for years that really haven't, which is pretty cool. And again, the biggest testament to that is to our players because they've taken the time. You can't create more time, so the investment in the relationships has got to go up, and they certainly, it seems to us, have done a really good job of that.
When you look at Jordan, what's something that's not on tape, but you notice in just being around him or seeing him on the field that lends itself to the reason he had the success he had prior?
Yeah, I would say is you can tell he loves to play, loves to study, just kind of has a little bit of kind of a gym ratish type mentality. And then another thing I'd say that I've seen is just the unselfishness. I mean, other guys have made plays or this or that. He's just as excited. Probably actually one of those guys that's more excited than even when he makes a play. And so I just say his overall attitude and approach to football, and then specifically to being a member of this football team, have been very mature and very impressive.
Thank you, Coach Riley.
Thanks.
Thanks you guys.
Coach.
Take care.